Hello, my name is Roxana Gonzalez and today I want to show you how to use my backup file server. I already installed a server and to access to my server I will use PuTTY. In this we know what I need to do to access to connect to my server is to put here the IP address or my domain. So I will use my, my domain that is roxanagonzalez.com to connect to my server. Even though I can use here the port 22, I will use the port 5969 because the port 22 was always tracking for hackers to go to my server and hack it. So the port 22 now is blocked, so I'm using the port 5969. And here we go. Now we have I need to put my login to access to my domain, my server, sorry, and my login is Roxana, and now it is asking for the password. Now I already access to my server, but I need to administrator rights to operate it, so I will sudo it. Now to see what files I already have in my server, these are all the files that I have, and if you can notice, the last one is Win Backup. So everything that I synchronize from my computer um, to my server, all my files will be here in Win Backup folder. So now we can see what I already have there. Can you see I have an Android folder, a documents folder, a test folder, and I have a test.txt file and a test key folder. Now to see how it changed, I already changed my folder backup. This is the folder I synchronize with my server. So all the files and folders that are here in my backup folder will be synchronized to my server. So far, if you can notice, this has different files because it has Android test and test, just 3 files, two folders and 1 file. Here I have 4 folders and 1 file. So we will access now, we will execute it and see how it is going. I already have my screen. To synchronize, I'm using WRSync sign to synchronize to access to my server. To run it, I need to use a command window. So here, document. Here, and in documents, I have my folder that is Linux project, and in Linux project, I already have my script running it. If we can access, here is my script. Oh, sorry, I wanna edit it. Even though it seems really small and easy, it is not. It really was. This is the part that do everything to connect and send all the files that I wanna send and synchronize to my server. To explain a little bit this, I am just setting here that I will use my TWRSync that is already in my program file. So this script will call that program to start this synchronization. Here already have that we will be sure that the person who is doing the synchronization will have all the access and the permissions. And also I'm synchronizing here that sorry, that's something. And here we go, the last, really this is everything that do the synchron. After that everything is configured. This is the part that this line is the one that connects to the server and starts sending what we are doing. So we are using my backup file, and I am using also the port 5969 to connect to it. And here I have two options. I can put my domain, that is roxanagonzalez.com, or I can access through the IP address. Uh, Both of them are okay, so I can use whenever you want. And also I'm telling here which folder I will use to send to my server. In this case, I'm using WinBackup. Uh, so all my folders, all my files will go to the WinBackup folder in my server. So everything will go here in WinBackup. So let's see how it works now. To send, I will just use Roxana W send END. Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry. Okay, the synchronization is started, but if you remember, I already said that it needs to be a person who has the right. So it is asking me for the password, and when I put the password, now everything was synchronized. To check that everything goes well, so we will do we will see now what folders we have in the server. If you can see, this is my backup folder that I have here in my Windows. So I have an Android and test to exit the document. If you can see, I have the Android folder, the test and test PSP document, and that's good. So everything is running, but still we have a problem here. Every time when I run it, it is asking me for a password. What happens if I wanna automatize this and just run behind every day and every time? But I can't do that right now, because every time it will be asking me for a password and I need to be there to realize the backup. So we will change a little bit our code, and just doing some optimization to this script. We'll see this. Since I can use a SSH connection, and SSH connection also can use a key, so I will use it. I already set the server with some authorized keys that can be accessed to the server. So we are doing that. And also here I am creating some variables. Those are the time and who is accessing to the server. So this will be really useful if you wanna be sure who is accessing to your server and at what time it is doing this. Another improve in this script is that also I am using some filters. For example, I don't want to back up my .ini files, because it's really not worthy. These files are created by Windows whenever we are opening, I don't know, the file or some configuration. So this kind of files won't be updated, or no, won't be synchronized. So I won't have a backup copy of this kind of files, and also the db, because they are not useful and not useful for me, for the system, for anybody. So these times will be just saved rooms, and that's why I don't want it. So here I'm doing some filter to be sure that all these files won't be copied to my system. If you can see here, I'm saying I will using my filter to avoid those files. And here I am using also my time to be sure this variable is making sure that the files that I am copy won't be copied with the time of the system or the system of my server. So this time will be copied with the time of my Windows to be sure at what time I created. Because if I don't do this all the times, every time I'm just using the system time, which is not useful for me, because whenever I lost some information and I want to go to recover it, I need to be sure when I create it, and if it is using the server time, I won't be sure where if that is the file that I am looking for. And here we go. Now I am using a AirSign P that it is already set up here in my computer and also in the server. And as well as the first time I can do access to my server using a IP on my domain, and I'm here saying where I will put all my folders. So let's run it and see how it is work now. So instead of run the first one that doesn't have the improvements, I will run this second script that I think works better, and it will allow me to do backups whenever every time that I want it, even though I am not here to put the password. Okay. Now, if you notice, it didn't ask me for the password. It just ran it and made the synchronization. So I am sure now that I can do a script and just run every day at 6, for example, and it will be done, and I don't need to be here. So to check that everything is going well, we can put and add some folders to this. For example, my document folders and another test key folders. If you remember, so far I have the Android folder, the test folder, and the test.txt. But now I have here 4 folders and 1 file. So we'll check if I can do everything and synchronize. Now it's done. Everything should be here now in my backup server. If you can notice, I have Android, I have document, I have test, and I have text.txt and test key. Android document test key and test. And probably you are thinking, what is this Android folder doing here? It's not that one. Okay, there. If you can notice, I have an Android backup. That is because I also can do a backup for my Android using the rsync created for Android. So I really now this is my server that I can do my backups no matter what device I have. And backup, for example, backup. Oh, sorry. I just copy some pictures of my Android to here, and here are all my backups. So whenever I want to see or recovery, or even though if I lost my Android phone, I can recover it for him. I think with this I can really show how useful it is and how interesting is go to this process. So if you have some questions, please just let me know, and I think we will be still in touch.